There came a moment in time when I began to wonder, why am I here? Why did my soul choose now to exist in this winding dance we call life? These questions arrived like thunder, a rupture in the sky of my inner world. I spoke them aloud and found myself shaken, standing in uncharted territory. Yet something within me stirred, an inner pull urging me to seek, to listen. And so I did. I wandered down unpaved trails, climbed hills made of curiosity. Each step drew me deeper into the question, rather than delivering an answer. Until one day I arrived, a feeling I imagined like the first rain after drought, sweet relief, a downpour of knowing, my soul in full bloom, finally sipping up every drop of this life. So these are the pathways of soul discovery I've walked, and I hope in some way they lead you closer to your own arrival too. When I first began exploring my soul's purpose, there was a lot of unlearning I had to do because growing up, my sense of purpose was closely tied to like a career track or some kind of societal role. You know, adults would always just be like, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I would say something along the lines of lawyer or doctor, scientist. Like, those were the only things that seemed to be acceptable. But if my soul was realized back then, I would have said something along the lines of lover, a light keeper, a friend of plants, a hug, a warm hug to all earthlings. So I had to come to terms with the programming and conditioning around this thing we call purpose and how it had impacted my own sense of purpose. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tell 'em. I think it's common to feel a sense of purposelessness when you don't feel like you fit into these boxes that society has carved out for you. And I personally felt that immensely. I felt this feeling of emptiness or directionlessness when I let others lead for me rather than letting my soul lead the way, letting my soul guide me. So, my first pathway for soul discovery was really detaching from my worldly understanding of self, my worldly definition of self, and kind of reshaping the ground in which I existed on. And a lot of the time, this just looked like expanding the possibility of my existence to a place outside of what I was used to. This came with a lot of self coaching and a lot of self coddling, just reassuring myself that it was okay to exist outside of these standards and that I deserved to center my life in something much more true, much deeper, much more resonant to me. And what followed was just an entirely new dialogue with myself, new stories that I could tell myself, that I could grab a hold of. I can't speak today, that I could grab a hold of and just ride like waves. For example, coming to the realization that I could very well just be here to share the deep well of love and joy I have in my heart with others. End of sentence. Period. Nothing more to say. Nothing more to say. And realizing that my sense of purpose doesn't have to be rooted in money making. It doesn't have to be rooted in society's definition of productivity or progress or whatever society finds impressive. What do I find impressive? What is medicine for my soul? What path do I feel like I should be walking? Small, big, insignificant to some or not? You know, just choosing to center your life in whatever feels miraculous to you, choosing to detach and explore, truly feels like feeding a starving soul. Feels so good. It feels so good. It feels like breaking free. And yeah, that's what I'm getting into today. Right after I finish this chia pudding. Let's go on an adventure, a soul adventure, and see what we discover about ourselves. See what we return to. It's gonna be juicy. I can feel it. The soul and its language seem to play hide and seek. It's as if it's been dropped into a room full of noise, patiently waiting for you to come searching. And I find it rarely speaks in words. We have to open up our channels of expression wide enough to let it move through us. For me, sinking into flow is a pathway for my soul to speak. And although I find flow taking many shapes and forms, dance is where my body becomes open space, like a canvas of exploration. Each twist and turn feels like an introduction to a part of myself I haven't yet met. When I dance, I imagine my inner world as a kind of living room, a space where I push the furniture aside, to move freely, to ride on the walls, to build towers and knock them down again and again. A practice of letting yourself be seen, a motion of breaking free. Dance, open space for becoming. I've communed with plants since I was a little girl, and in being with them, I've come to know my soul much more intimately. In my world, all beings hold energy, all beings carry a soul. And when we listen closely, we can begin to sense their loving partnership. Like calendula and St. John's wort, herbs of the sun that hold space for our own radiant light within. Whether I'm beneath the sky or at home in ritual, I listen. Our plant can guide my hands to a place where medicinal, eternal love pours through. Here is where I enter an expansive space for my soul's expression. In this sacred collaboration, blending intuition and earth is where I become a vessel, allowing love and remembrance to move through me, a living channel through which others may begin to return to the earth, to themselves, to one another. The plants remind my soul of its connectivity, and they give me the sweetest language to express it. I have always loved to sing since I was a little girl, and my brother and I would always sing to each other, mostly improv, and typically it was in battle, whether it was song battle or rap battle, and always just calling each other butt heads and things like that. Nothing of substance, really, but nonetheless, it was a great time, and even to this day, I find myself always naturally settling into song, especially when I'm alone. It's kind of like my love language with myself is like singing to myself. And I find that when you open your throat chakra in this way, it's not only fun, but it also provides a space for your soul to really express, kind of like an invitation where your soul can guide you. And I find it's always to places where your mind wouldn't think to go. I also think it's a good practice to get curious and ask yourself, what do I sing about and how does it make me feel? The lyrics, the tune, the rhythm, how is it all settling within you, and where does it lead you? What kind of people would it resonate with? Just kind of exploring these areas, because I find that when we ask ourselves questions, we don't always immediately arrive at the answer, but we enter this space of reflection where we can allow the answers to unfold with time and experience. I thought I heard something. So, I think I may sing a song while I'm out here. I'm a bit congested, but I think it'll give it character. The birds and the bees. Yeah. Think I need like a stick. Think I need this stick, yeah. I think I need mine. Need these. These are the ones that I need. The birds and the bees, they sing to me. The birds and the bees, they sing to me. As I sit under grandmother tree, grandmother tree, wisdom in her leaves, grandmother tree, wisdom in her leaves. Roots are grounding me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Grandmother tree, roots are grounding me. Wisdom in her leaves, I can see clearly. Thank you, Grandma Tree. Roots, roots, we got our roots, roots, roots. We got our roots, roots, the ground in me. As I sit under Grandma. Wisdom is what she shares with me as I listen closely, 'cause I got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, just with my Grandma Tree. Thank you, Grandma Tree. Thank you, Grandma Tree. Thank you, Grandma Tree. Thank you, Grandma Tree. Yeah, 'cause your roots are grounding me. Your roots are grounding me. Twisted and just barky. Where else can we venture with this song? And then I'll go. She rises so, so high, all the way to the birds in the sky, where her flowers wait so patiently, waiting for my friend the bee. All together now. Birds and the bees sing to me. Birds and the bees sing to me. As I sit under Grandmother Tree, she rises to the sky, oh so high, rises to the sky, oh so high. Flowers blooming, waiting patiently. My friend Mr. B, Mr. B, on his way to see, oh to see what kind of nectar he'll wait and see. We made a little song. And wow, did we journey? Or did we stay here? Both very valuable. Oh man. Thank you, Tree, for holding this song. That was beautiful. Painting puts me on that same miraculous current, energy moving through me in color and form. I let my soul guide the brush, bringing forth imagery that soothes wounds I didn't know I carried, or delivers messages I didn't know I needed to share. I often find myself painting connection between people or between us and the earth. Each time I meet the canvas, I'm pulled back to a place where unity lives. And through that repeated return, I've come to understand how deeply my soul longs to be a force for togetherness, for weaving what can feel separate back into wholeness. Our souls love to speak through creation because the soul is creation. And when we allow ourselves to enter the state of surrender, to give ourselves freely to the act of making, our deepest truths begin to arise. Yearnings, callings, all born from the life force itself. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of painting with my hands because I've never done it and I have always wanted to. I feel like it'll feel really good to use my hands to make art. Maybe I shall paint a tree. Excuse me. And I think I'm gonna use my plant friends here, the ones that have shed, to help me bring it to life. See how this goes. I'm excited. Alright. Now this feels like art. And I think the tree will go like this. It's a dancing tree. And of course it has some kind of branches. She must ground herself. Ground yourself, Mrs. Tree. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Look at that. This is so satisfying. But the beautiful thing about art is that you can really just let it flow and unfold, and it will surprise you. Even if it looks a mess in the meantime, eventually you'll arrive at something that you will find beautiful or someone will find beautiful. Somebody is going to see the beauty in your creation. But I feel like every time I practice art, I'm always painting nature. Always. Oh no! Even when you make mistakes, you can make something out of it. That's it, that's it. That's it. It's exactly what I'm looking for. Tall, wispy grass. She's blowing in the wind's blowing. Yeah, that feels right. That feels like art. That feels like nature. You see them? Now what I'm gonna do is take some of these leaves that have fallen and I'm just gonna into the paint. So we need the stem too. Yeah, that feels good. And then this is gonna make our leaves for the tree. It's not perfect, but it's cool. Oh. I'm going back to my hands with this because I want the tree to be like more abstract. Sun is reflecting off of the leaves in this tree. I think that's it. This is my tree. Solitude has been one of my greatest teachers, especially in moments spent journaling, entering a space where it's just me, witnessing myself. And in that intentional stillness, channels of exploration begin to open. I've walked winding pathways, asking myself, what are the gifts that come most naturally to me? What do I do with such ease it feels encoded in my being? At first, it wasn't quite clear, and I learned not to force it. Because the absence of an immediate answer doesn't mean you lack purpose. Sometimes it simply means you just haven't had enough space to notice who you are. For me, the answers rolled in slowly, slowly through living in alignment, honoring what felt true, and returning to myself again and again with presence and curiosity. Carving out consistent pockets of daily presence has opened up so many channels for my soul to unfurl. In the past, my inner landscape has felt crowded, just filled with the overwhelm of the material world. But letting silence and slowness flood in without any pressure to do or become has really allowed me to enter beautiful days, pulled in by the pure romance of existence. I find myself staring into the vastness of it all, noticing where my awareness naturally drifts. These moments really allow me to witness myself in new ways, and I've found a kind of enlightenment in getting curious. How does this exact moment speak to my soul? What part of my life force is rising here? I experience life as a mirror, the simplest moments full of profound symbolism. And when I'm still enough, life speaks directly to me. It teaches, it guides, it reflects. And in this intimate conversation, I effortlessly fall into the divine placement of it all. You know, I'm starting to get the feeling that most of this video is going to be me just making homes out of trees, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But I just wanted to share that my soul revealing its purpose has truly felt like a child emerging from its hiding place. And this child is dusted in curiosity and light. And they're just ready to play. They're ready to be and to sink into the joy of expression. And that has just felt so good because I feel like what was once distant or missing has now become close and familiar and warm. And that I now hold this special language that I can speak to the deepest part of my being. And it's like to know yourself that intimately, to be able to speak to yourself with precision feels extremely liberating. And yeah, kind of like reaching an entirely different level of self and deepening my relationship with myself. And so Yeah, I hope that this video serves as somewhat of a pollinator for your own journey, that it can help you enter into this eternal blossoming of sorts. That is what I call in for you. That is what I pray for you. And I just love you so dearly. I love you deeply, deeply. And I'm just sending you hugs and love. In the meantime, until next time, in between time, mwah.